All right.
What's that? The hands should not perform the enterprise. So that the hands cannot perform the enterprise. I need somebody to help me on precept. Amazon, can you come down here on this end? Right between y'all two.
What is it?
So 5 and 12.
All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites. We come out every week, prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom called Babylon. Also today, in modern times known as America. The word means bitter ass land. But first, we want to give praise to the Most High in the name of His Son, in the Proto-Hebrew, which means the first Hebrew. What some call Paleo-Hebrew, which is also known as the ancient Hebrew, or Lashon Kodash. All right? So we're going to say, Kal, Alayim, Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash, Amma. All right, double honor to the elder apostles, the GMS and the elders, and Shalom to you, Akim, and Agwatim, the children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. All right. What we're going to go into today, the topic or the mindset is going to be based on this new universal income that they're trying to bring out. Universal income. And today, a lot of brothers going to do a lesson on it when they get home probably. Elon Musk, he came out with it, with the idea of a universal income. And they're already pushing it over there in Germany and other countries. So the only thing stopping them from pushing this universal income in America is the Constitution. All right, that's what's slowing up their process from the New World Order. Now you got it to where they plan on giving every household like $1,200 to $1,500 a month, you know, every month, and you don't have to work. See that? That's what they're going to do is total control. You're gonna be in complete need of the government from that point. All right. The word will be dependent upon the government after that.
And if I may add on, you know, just like the brother was saying, man, hey, you got different countries that's already on it, but yet America's with the predictive programming. Man. You know, that's why you have your corn shortages right now. You know what? Where they going? You throwing them all in the lake. You know what I'm saying? Making wishes. What is the case, man? You know, but with that being said, what it is, they're getting ready to go to that cryptocurrency. You know, they're talking about taking the magnetic strips off the back of cars. Why? So you can have that NFC technology, near field communication. You know, tap and go, tap and pay as if you will. You know, which is all going to lead up to that market of beast, man.
Right, man. So now, so basically, what universal income? What does the word uni go to? One. What does the word verse become? It means what? The world, or one world government, or one world mindset. All right, and that's what they're pushing today. One world government, one world religion, one world medical, one world military, one world ideology. You know. And they want to push it all under a paganized or atheistic and a communist philosophy. All right. So, yep. So now this universal income is going to set everybody up to be what? The name of the game is control, man, and dependency. They want to get you dependent on this government, so they're going to force you into a corner to make a choice. The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they got to repent. All right. So they want to get people to get that. And if you don't have it, then they're not going to let you get that income that they're talking about. See the trick to the trade? Go ahead, brother.
This is First Maccabees chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 41. It said, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
Right, there you go. There goes your one world mindset under demonocracy, under the kingdom of the Greeks. All right, Antiochus Epiphanes, 168 BC. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 42 of First Maccabees chapter 1. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Right, yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. Right. So, just like today, when that time comes, man, hey, you're going to have the 2/3 is going to follow right after Esau as well, man. You know, with the whole NWO, man, a global reset, if you will. You know, they're going to go right along with it. That's why Scripture says, "Envy not thou the oppressor, neither choose none of his ways." But yet, 2/3 of our people, shit, they envy the oppressor and choose all of his ways, man.
Right. And what today, corrupting the Sabbath would be what? Corrupting the rest.
Oh.
Right? Corrupting the rest that the Lord is setting up for the elect. And that's what they're aiming to do. They want to destroy righteousness upon the earth. All right, go ahead, bro.
This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more stay upon him that smote them, but they shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. The remnant shall.
That's clear, man. That's clear right now. That's our anchor. The truth about Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, that's our anchor right now, man. In the midst of this flood that Esau bringing, this flood of lies. The only anchor that we have is the truth. All right, so we're no longer going to stay upon these heathens, because the Lord said, "What? We're going to go to Esau for the want of all things." You know, government loans, housing, mortgages, land, jobs. But now the Lord said, "What? We in a time where He said, He's going to send the prophet John, Elijah, to return the hearts of the children unto the fathers, and the fathers unto the children." All right, so that's what time we're in. We're going to no longer stay upon these Edomites. We're going to what? Go to the Lord for help. And that's what that change is happening right now in front of everybody's face. Right, brother?
I'm going to skip up to verse 1. Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless.
Right. Can you do that again? I'm going to stop there. A lot of points.
All right, from Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
Right, so they got unrighteous decrees, man. There's nothing righteous about it. Just because it says legal does not mean it's good. When it says legal, it just means it's contractual, or it went through the courts, a court system. And what they're doing today, as far as mandates, as far as regulations, that was the word I was trying to find earlier. Regulations, government mandates, it's all illegal. Even if they did deem it to be legal, it's still unrighteous. There's nothing godly about it, nothing righteous about it, man. They want to change your human makeup that the Lord made.
And then, like the brother was saying, man, hey, what Scripture is saying, hey, woe to them that write unrighteous decrees, man. These Edomites over here in America got over 20,000 laws and add hundreds to them each year, man. You know, the Lord got 613 commandments that we're supposed to keep to the best of our ability, but yet our people don't want to try to abide by them to the best of their ability, man. You know, and also with that, hey, with those unrighteous decrees, they're doing that today as well. All right, to this day with these draconian measures that they're taking, like the elder was speaking on, taking away the Constitution.
There you go, yeah, the draconian measures, the Roman Empire way of thinking. They're using their Congress and the Senate to do it, right? You know, pushing them draconian measures, just like the dragon, which represents the European Empire, the European Union, which would be the Roman Empire. Interjection? Go ahead.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injury, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Right. You want to speak on it? All right. So unrighteous dealings. And what else?
Injuries and riches got by
and
deceit.
Injuries. All right. So, and that's just it. And riches gotten by deceit. That's the focus right there. Yeah, they're injuring them, man. You know, and now you also have. I'm trying to say it without getting the page straight. But the pharmaceutical company. I say it once. And hopefully everybody knows what we're talking about from that point. But they need to get rich. They're losing their patents right now. All right, they have patents on all the prescription. You know, can't say it, man. I don't know. But they have patents on all of it. Right? They would go out. They would see a herb and they can't copyright it, so they would have to make a chemical in contrast to it that does the same effect. But at the same time, it destroys your natural makeup, body makeup. Right?
Bring you right back to them.
It bring you right back to them. It acts as if it's fixing one thing, but it's destroying something else in the body, and it's keeping you coming back to them. And that's how those companies got rich. But now they've lost those patents to those specific treatments. All right, they lost those patents, so now they got to move it to a whole nother market, and that market is going to be dealing with robots. All right, we're close enough, right? It's like Scrabble, man. They can't say nothing. Like, you know, yeah. So look at it. I know they know what we're talking about now. Yep. Okay.
All right, this is Daniel chapter 7, verse 24. And the 10 horns out of his kingdom are 10 kings that shall rise, and others shall rise after them.
Right. Yep. European Union. Go ahead.
And he shall be diverse from the first, and shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words among the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hands until a time and times and dividing of time.
Yeah. So they're seeking to change times and laws, man. All right. So they're changing their laws, like the brother said. They add on laws every week. You know, and they ultimately want to change away from the main law, which is the Bible. That used to be the law of their land, but they don't use that anymore. All right, they've gotten so far away from the Bible.
Speaking of what's going to come on the mass scale over here to America a couple years ago, where in California you had to register your Bible as an assault rifle. You know, which it is a weapon according to Hebrews 4:12. It's sharper than any two-edged sword, man. That's how you know it's piercing right to the soul of these heathens. You know, all right in Afghanistan. All right, it's going on over there. If you found with a Bible app on your phone, shit, they get you off. All right, it's coming over here to America, man. Soon.
All right, it's back in Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor."
Right.
Of my...
So they have prescribed it. They've written it, man. This is man's law. That's the law of their land. Like who you got? Bill Gates. You know, they set him up to come up with this technology. And who you got? Elon Musk. He's coming up with his thing called the Neuralink. And then you got it's called movers and shakers, called the shadow government. You don't know who it is nowadays, or I think it will be the military industrial complex. They're the ones that run America right now. All right, in China. The old America is gone, you know, in 2020.
There's I'm not sure what company does it, but there's a company that they put in, not a microchip, but like a circuit board on the speech part of the brain on like a paraplegic people who can't speak, and then from
That's
there.
that Neuralink that Elon Musk was talking about.
No, it's something different.
Okay.
They have to put it like on the brain, and like a little plug sticks out, and they attach the computer to a plug, and the person's thoughts are going to appear as words on the screen for like paraplegics, people who can't speak. And so they already have that technology now, and that's.
Yeah, didn't your boy have that? The dude that died in the wheelchair.
No, he didn't have. He had the little type thing. This was going directly from your thoughts onto a computer screen.
That's what it's all about, man. The interface, man. How to translate the human data into computer data. That's what they're doing, man. All right, and it's all being paid for and ran by China. China, the one that's requesting this to get done. All right.
Yes. This is Daniel 8:25. And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. All right. So ultimately, that's what's gonna happen to this kingdom, but it happened once before. So, but through his policies, that's why he's causing craft these different inventions to prosper. All right, these different things, you know, with those other things that are inside those other things. Needless to say more. So through his policies, and that's what he's trying to bring forth. It's not case law, but he's using mandates, he's using policies to try to bring, and he's using these companies to enforce those rules. All right. So if you go to the Publix, you can't go in order unless you have certain things. So that's how they're trying to do everything to cause their craftiness to prosper in their own hands.
If I may add on, that's why they said they're gonna leave it in the power of the businesses, the companies and whatnot. You got like the Caribbean islands, if I'm not mistaken. You know, with the cruise lines, you're not fully, you know what? Hey, shit, you're not allowed. You know.
And what do they say? They have the signs that we have the right to refuse anybody. They have the right to refuse anybody. So with that sign saying they have the right to refuse, that becomes part of their policies to where they don't have to go according to your constitutional rights. Because why? Because you're in their domain. Just like with YouTube, they have certain words you're not allowed to say, but you want to call it freedom of speech, but you're on their domain. So the domain that you're on, as far like the www.youtube.com, that's their house. So they can put forth their own policies and their own rules and regulations, and you have to abide by, even if they're unconstitutional, you have to abide by their laws once you're in their domain.
And that's how you know scriptures are undeniable too, man. What it says in 2 Ezra 15. Hey, thou shalt desire to go in the city and shall not be able to, all right? And y'all know y'all like to travel to go here and there, but you're not gonna be able to, man, unless you have that Spirit of the Lord on you. Why? Because you're gonna fold and bow down and take their what you call, you know?
Right. Can somebody get Revelation 17 and 15?
Well, that first we want to go back to
bring it right to this. Okay. Yeah, I think
Revelation chapter 17, verse 15. It says, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
Right, so that's going into that horn, the little horn the brother was talking about. All right, that showed up after the 10 horns of the Roman Empire.
Done.
But all of the policies that you have here in America come through who? Through the feds, man. All right, through what they call the government, which really comes from America. I mean, Europe. Right? That's what I meant to say. So through Europe, you get all the policies over here in America, man. Or what they call the Queen of England, you know. Interjection.
This is Revelation 13, verse 12, verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
America, they're pushing all the policies and draconian mandates of the Roman of Europe, man. Because China has been set up to become the leading country or the new horde. All right, and they're using the beast. You know, what's that? Europe, NATO, and they're controlling them through the Illuminati, what you would call George Soros, you know. And they're through the Illuminati, through these devils, they're using them to create policies that's going to strip America of its riches, of its status now. See that? So they can bring them lower than China. All right. Giving them the power seat to say, hey, what you want us to do? You want us to bring America down? You know, give y'all this. Y'all back your currency by gold, China. We're going to take America's gold from them. See that? And that's what's happening. Go ahead, brother. So they're using the policies to strip all the power from this place and gain a full foothold of control in this place now. And take away what you call the Constitution. Verse 16. Yeah, so like they want to do away with the old world order, and they're bringing in what you call a new world order. Yeah, okay.
It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
Right. So today they're going to hate the whore. They hate America. Right? America's in the way. The Constitution is in the way. The dollar is in the way. It's no longer a value to them. All right, they used it to steal all the resources from the other countries. Now they don't need it. If anything, it's a cancer to anybody's reserves. All right, it's a bad reserve to have, man. Because it costs so much to keep the maintenance up. All right, I'm keeping it as a reserve.
So it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, These shall hate the whore.
Right, they hate America, man. All right, I wish I could get that word for hate. But it's all good, bro.
And shall make her desolate,
Right,
and naked.
Yeah, because they used to love America back in the 1950s with Eisenhower. They set him up as a spokesman for NATO. All right, America was the spearhead for NATO, the hammer of the earth. They love this place. But now, look, go ahead, brother. No, you good, you good.
And shall eat her flesh.
No, they're going to eat her flesh. So they're going to take all the riches and the wealth and the culture of this place away. What's the culture of this place? The riches and the folly. What's it called? The mirth. The mirth of the land is gone. It's being taken away. Go ahead.
And burn her with fire.
That's right, man. And burn her with fire. So they're going to do both. They're going to strip of what you know America to be. And that's why everybody's like, yo, the old America is gone. What they call normalcy. They come up with a new norm. Now it says what? They're going to strip her and burn her with fire ultimately. All right, so they're going to cause America to be destroyed in World War III. He said, what? To lead all the kings of the East into perdition. Into the war. All right, the dragon that came back has deadly wound healed. That was it. Well, you know what I said? We just read it the other day. Come up. A little more. Go ahead.
Verse 17, Revelation. It says, for Yahweh hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast.
Yeah.
Until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled.
Yep, there you go. Yep, there you go. You got it.
20 and 8.
Yep, because that's what. Yeah, man, because that's water. That's more. So through Europe, all the policies are coming from over there, and they're giving America power to use those draconian measures. And they say, yo, who are we going to set up as our puppet to do it? That's when you got the Democrats. That's when you got Biden. That's when you got Trump. See that being manipulated by China and Russia, playing both sides, man, creating two Americas. What you would call in Revelation 13, two horns, right? But speaking as the dragon, both of them. So Europe is going to hate the whore. They used to love this place, but now it says they detest it, especially to persecute it. All right, so they're going to persecute this place. All right, to love less, so they don't love these hoes. All right, they don't love America no more. Yep, you got it, brother. You bring them all up.
All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 12. And your mother shall be sore confounded; she that bare you shall be ashamed.
Right. So where are the courts? Where's your banks come from? Where's your the Federal Reserve come from? It comes from the banks of England. All right. That's who helped establish America, you know, in general. All right, brother? All right.
Your mother shall.
So England hates America. Are you good? Your mother.
Yeah.
Remember you got the Rothschilds, you know, and they set up NATO with Brussels, the Brussels Treaty. They loved America, man. But not anymore. They hate this place, and they're going to persecute it. They're going to persecute it so they can raise up Moab, China. Real quick, he's the other guy first. I got both of them.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
There you go. So now the nations are mad. All right? And to be mad meaning they have lost their damn mind. What it means is it's almost like the word foolish. You know, well, they were made to be like Russia in the 1970s. You know, they gave America a bunch of gold for a certain amount of dollars. You know, I think it was like 1 troy ounce of gold to $30. And they would get $30 in return, And then what happened was they had something called the Nixon shock. So where they stole all the gold and the silver from all these countries. They said, yo, we no longer backing our dollar by gold and silver. So we got to keep y'all money. So what did that do? Now today they realize that America's in the way. They realize that, oh man, we done built this place up, we done invested in it, and did business with it. When really this is the cancer that's destroying everybody's economy right now. All right.
And if I may add on, that's what the brother Jack just brought out in Revelations 17, man. Hey, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh put the thoughts into their head to give their goods over to the Lord, man. You know, so with that being said, they're doing that to fulfill the will of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh, man. To set this place up as that powerhouse. You know, just like the elder just said.
All right, bro. Oh, go ahead. Oh, who's that reading? What y'all read? We have the golden cup. So the golden cup represents the philosophy, man. So the Lord used America to cause these nations to be drunken, man. All right, and to be led into this World War III scenario that's happening. And there you go. Americans holding the philosophies of Europe. All right, all these idolatry, idol worship, demonocracy, Christianity, all these draconian measures and mandates. Let's get that petition, Revelation 20. All right, so all these policies and mandates, they all coming really from Europe, man. You see, it started off in Britain first. They started really pushing that draconian measure. What's his name? The dude that shag on like a mop. Dude. What's his name? It comes to me. Nah, it comes to me though. But Boris.
Yeah, Boris Johnson.
Yeah, that dude, man. He looks just like Trump.
Yeah.
European version,
British version, right? like a European version of Trump. They both from Europe, but you know.
Yeah.
And he's getting the same scrutiny over there as Trump was getting over here.
Right.
That's the funny part about it.
But the difference is, all the citizens, they're out there protesting in the streets. Over here, they're not doing that. Why? Because they're falling asleep because of the media. All right, and they think the Constitution is protecting them, but it's not. All right, they moving past the Constitution like a bunch of gnats going through a damn metal gate. All right, where we at? Somebody got precept, Mazan? Then y'all what's up? Oh,
Isaiah chapter 10, verse 6. I will set him against an hypocritical nation, against the people of my wrath. I will give him a change to take the spoils and to take and pray, succor, and to treat them down like a mare in the streets.
Right. The Lord gonna allow Esau to have that time, man. All right, where was you at?
Revelation 10. I mean, Isaiah chapter 10.
10, verse
I
6.
think talking about Esau. Yeah, I can't really hear the first part. But yeah, the Lord gonna give them that ability, man. That's that last hoorah. All right, that's that last hoorah that the Lord gonna give to Esau, man, to bring down that hammer on Jake and to punish the two-thirds of the wicked. Go ahead. I gotta read that.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verses 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground with goodness, weakened nation?
Right. You have these elites right here, but a lot of people that's talking about the elites, but ultimately it's talking about America too, Babylon. Just like Lucifer, it means what? Light bearer. All right, that's talking about them. They call themselves the Illuminati. But then you also had Ur of the Chaldees that was in the original Babylon. All right, Ur of the Chaldees. The word Ur means what? Light. All right, a war of the Chaldees. Today, the Chaldees represent these devils. All right, so America would be that beacon of light that's going to fall as well. All right.
They gone. And what the Chaldees are known for, witchcraft, man.
Witchcraft.
Shit. That's what Esau doing today, you know.
That's right.
Television, casting, broadcasting.
That's right, man. That's all witchcraft, man. And you have the movie. What's it? The movie industry, Hollywood. You look that up. That's what's his name? Harry Potter. Harry Potter held a stick in his movie, and it was called Hollywood. Right? That stick is called Hollywood.
That's what they call it when remember like why am I in this ugly monster suit? Oh, it's just gonna take a little Hollywood magic to make it look.
Right. So now, if that's the stick that was in Harry Potter's hand, the witch. So that represents what today? The media in the movie industry.
Oh,
That's what they use as their wand to do their magic.
hey, America that one being controlled by the European Union. Hey, come on. Oh shit.
Right, man. America is the wand, same wand, being controlled by the European Union. Right? And they're using this place to cast a spell on all the people, especially 2/3 of our people. Madame?
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 10. Because they have seduced my people, saying, peace, and therein Shalaki, peace, and there was no peace. And one built up a wall, and lo, others dealt it with untempered mortar.
Right, there you go, man. So they say what? Peace for our people. They lied to them. He said every time they say peace, they bring nothing but war. They enlarge their desires as hell, man. And is as death, and hell follows sorrow. All right? But he said what? They built the wall and they daubed it with untempered mortar. That's that false doctrine. They're in religions. They helped out as well. All right, so all of that was built up from Europe, the Roman Empire, Roman Catholic Church. All right, so right now we're breaking down all of the spirits that leaped out of the mouth of the dragon. That's basically what it goes back to. All right, we can somebody get that. Go ahead.
I got the
Oh, you good.
This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 4. And Yahushua answered and said to them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear of wars and of rumor of wars. See that ye be not troubled. All these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Right, man. No, and in the time, all right, okay, we can use that. Because all the wars are happening because of who? Them damn devils. Right? He's the one that manipulating and causing all the wars. But the Lord said, don't be troubled. That's part of it as well. That's part of the witchcraft. To stir up fear and chaos and get people the way you can manipulate sheep is through them being led. All right? Through them being led by a true shepherd or through the fear of the wolf. That's how you control sheep. And the wolf only knows one way to control the sheep. It's to what? To deceive and act like a sheep itself until it can attack, or just scare the hell out of them and run them off the cliff. And that cliff today represents that right there.
And another form of hunting the wolf will do, he'll scatter the sheep, and one vulnerable sheep he'll run after and devour that one and get them one by one. He doesn't have to get them all at the same time, but if he gets one, and you know what I'm saying, if one gets deceived and goes astray, because he can't fight amongst all of them, if one gets deceived and goes away and finds others to follow, he separates them. And that's why you're seeing the division. Not only seeing the division within America, but you're seeing the division within Israel caused by the fear. Look at what Captain Desariac did. You see what I'm saying? That's the one sheep that was part of the fold that went and ran in a different direction, causing other sheep to follow. And so now Esau can continue to follow after the sheep that are following after righteousness, because he's already scared. It'll already work. So once you're scared and you're running in the opposite direction of righteousness, he doesn't have to pursue you anymore. But he's pursuing after the ones that are still following after Yahweh Shai.
They say when Jake see Jake running, they're gonna start running. They ain't even gonna ask, they're just gonna start running.
But the Lord tell you to be still in the time of trouble, man. Don't give haste.
Hey, we gotta speak up too, though. Yeah.
All right, it's the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7. For God, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. You know, like the brothers were speaking on, man, you're seeing a lot of people acting out of fear, man. But the ones necessarily in this truth, you know, the scriptures tell you that the Lord did not give us a spirit of fear, because wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of these times, man. And said the Lord gave us a sound mind. Seeing that clear distinction between believers and non-believers, those who don't have that sound mind, man, because they're moving out of fear and anxiety.
And what did Yahushua tell Pilate? I think it was Pilate. He said, are you not, you refuse to answer me, but are you not afraid of what I can do to thee? Or he told somebody that, but he said, you would not be here if my father didn't send you. So Yahushua knew those things had to happen in order for prophecy to unfold. Right? So knowing that and taking account 1 Corinthians chapter 10, it says, and there's no temptation given on man. That roughly preference, somebody want to get on 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, I think it is. I really want to keep on that point right there. I think it's 10 and 13. What did it say? Right, that one.
The book of 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. There have no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man.
All right, so it's common for us to go through these trial periods because Yahushua spoke on it. So that's why he told them, you would not be here to capture me if my father had not sent you. All right, so when they come knocking at your door, tell them the same thing. You would not be here if the Lord didn't send you. So the Lord finna show his might, finna show his power, and the ones that believe on his name, when those enemies come rushing out the flood, they'll lift up a standard against them. All right.
I mean, add on, which also is a faith booster. Why? Because that's what the Father had showed him, man. So once it happens, shit, it just boosts your faith and believing what the Father had telling us.
So when they try to cast these spells with the media, and the media is the #1 kicker that's putting fear into everybody, man. Go ahead.
But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
So if you're going through affliction, right, and you know you believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the more affliction you're going through, the more trying that he's going through, that he's giving you, but he's not going to give you anything that you can't bear. So if you're sitting here saying, oh, I can't take it no more, I can't take it no more, but you up the next morning doing the same routine, you have no choice. But that's the deception that the devil tries to put in your mind through the media and through these other outlets to make you think that you can't take it anymore, but you're taking it. The more you say you can't take it, you still do the same routine every day.
On top of that, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, he said he provide a place of support for you, man. A place of rest, a place of salvation, all right? Proverbs 18 and 10, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, the righteous one can do it and is safe.
And that's ultimately talking about these scriptures, because this is the rest wherein he calls the weary to rest. All right, so now you resting in the scriptures, whatever they say on the media is not going to matter, because you're not gonna give haste in the time of trouble, because they're not going to be troublesome times. See, it's troublesome times to the 2/3 of our people in these other nations, but it's not troubling in us. It's actually peaceful time for us, because the more that we see going on, the more we know we're supposed to get out of here, man.
I was just about to say, shit, we see these things going on, shit, we know we're on the route home, man.
So it was more troublesome not seeing the prophecies or not seeing the prophets. Those are troublesome times, but we're in good times, because guess what? It said how beautiful are the feet of them that bring good tidings. So you see the good tidings being brought out. So now you know the troublesome times for the elect are over, but it's gonna begin to get more troublesome for 2/3.
I got 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. But will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it.
Boom. So you may be able to bear it. So ain't nothing that them devils can do to put in your face. For as far as they deal with the school system and your money and things like that and your way of living. All right. So that's what they were brought forth, right? So you had 3 unclean spirits. One dealing with your way of life, the money, and the system, and you had the other one, unclean spirits, dealing with your spirituality. So with these 3 combined, form Captain Planet on the bullshit. But that combined, that's what they use to create order out of chaos. But the Most High gave us a way for us to bear it, and that's these scriptures, man. Policies. All right. First, we want to get Revelation. You want to get you want to no. This you want this first. This is Revelation chapter 16, verse 13. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet.
So these are spirits, man. These are spirits. That's that cup. That's that golden cup, man. All right, it's called wine and spirit. These are those spirits they're talking about, man. That they set up to seduce this nation, you know? That they set up to control through those spirits, those damn demons. What they would call religion, the military, and their banking setup. All right? And through that, that's like what they say, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Esau think he got it. So he like, I gave it to you and I can take it from you. Yeah, you want the stemmy, you got to get that other stem.
For they are the spirit of devils working miracles which go forth.
The spirit of devils. See, that's it right there. That's the spirit, man. They are the spirit or creations or imaginations of deceivers. So these systems are set up to deceive the people, the media, the banking system. All right, it's all built off deception. The dollar is a form of debt. It's a deceptive note, man. A form of currency. Then you have their religion, which is all based off deceit, making money, merchandise of everybody. All right.
The American media is the most consumed media globally. Like you'll see some Moab cinematic movies and stuff like that, and movies from other countries. But our the American TV shows and American movies and songs and stuff like that, that is all globally consumed, and so everybody's under that same American type of spirit. You see somebody in Africa with a Hannah Montana shirt on or a Mariah Carey shirt on. All right, the American stuff go around everywhere.
Yeah. Will Smith said it himself. He said, you know, America is the most influential country when you can go to a remote village in Africa and to a cave in a tunnel and see a poster of Tupac and Biggie in there. He said he's seen that himself. He said from that point on, he realized that America is the most influential country in the world. All right, this is Revelation chapter 20, verse 7. It says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather together the battle, the number of whom the sand is of the sea.
Right, so man, so through their deception, they're gonna cause all these nations that are in this world, these kingdoms to go to war. All right, they're manipulating the war, man. Just like they did in World War I and World War II. Same for World War III, man. All right. So the Lord is using the dragon to manipulate the whore, America, and push these draconian measures. And ultimately, it's going to be the downfall of this place, America.
If I may add on, speaking of downfall, before he got assassinated, Osama bin Laden said it's going to be perfect when what's his name? Who in office now? Biden is in office, man. Why? Because he's not able to handle the capacity of being the president. They say once he's in office, shit, all hell is gonna break loose over here in America. And guess what? Shit is happening.
Well, they label him what they call that? Incapable? Incompetent. Yesterday. They labeled him incompetent yesterday because of his the way he handled in Afghanistan. So they labeled him incompetent, man. And the last time they labeled somebody incompetent, I forgot what president that was. No, it was a president. Right after Nixon. Right before, huh? Right before Nixon.
Roosevelt. Or
no, it was around them. It was one of them. But
Andrew Truman.
Might have been Truman. But they said under one of those presidents, it was the worst it ever been in America because he was incompetent. And then another time they had it, it was the brother of Alexander. I think it was Philip III. And Alexander's mother drugged him. And he became incompetent. He became retarded.
Yeah, fucked him up bad. He was like he went from regular to Down syndrome like real quick.
Yeah, man. So they labeled him incompetent, and the Roman Empire the Greek Empire was in shambles at that time because of that. All right. So now Biden, look at him, man. Yeah. He like he having strokes every time he walks into the damn podium.
Hey, and rumor has it that he has slight dementia too.
Hey, John, actually, he got out and walked out on him because he got a question that they asked him. Man. He walked out on there.
He'd be like, robot. You got an interjection? Come here around.
This is Sirach, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Right.
Set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble.
There you go, man. Constantly endure. That means the word endure goes back to being patient and waiting. Constantly wait on the Lord. All right, and endure through these hard times. Those that endure to the end shall be saved. All right, he said what? And move not in haste in time of trouble. Right now we're going into what? The time of Jacob's trouble. So the Lord said when we entering into that, don't move in haste. Don't jump and try to, oh man, let me do this. Well, I gotta get that every week, you know, just so I can keep my job. You know, but I'm not gonna do the other thing. Or like Tazariak did. He jumped out there in haste. You move in haste, you're dealing with fear, man. The Lord did not give us the spirit of fear.
There's no reason to go to Walmart and stockpile food. There's no reason to stockpile supplies. I mean, you can't be going to make you feel better, but at the same time, it's ultimately up to the will of Yahweh Yahushua.
That's it, man. All right, go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 12. It says, woe be to the fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goes 2 ways.
And that's who they're praying on right there. Those are the individuals that are praying on, and they're just like during the time of Maccabee. They're doing those using those individuals to try to persuade the ones that are strong in faith. They ain't gonna come at you directly first. They're gonna use individuals like people that be around you at your job, people that be in your own household that don't believe in what you believe in. So they're gonna be moving in fear, and they're gonna try to place that fear upon you.
Verse 13, it says, woe unto them that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall not be defended. So if you don't believe in the powers of Yahushua, you trust in his ways, trust in his refuge, and I said trust in the foundation, man. You're not gonna be defended in that time of affliction, man.
Right. Well, trust in his mercy. Yeah. We gotta trust in the Lord's mercy, because we're in a time of mercy. That's what we need. Because we don't deserve any of this. We don't deserve his salvation. He said the ones that get delivered, he's gonna open the treasures of eternity to you. We don't deserve that, man.
And the only reason we're able to get that is because of Yahushua.
Right. Right, man. And what's that in Colossians? I think it is. Colossians 1. You already read that one, right? Edition.
Yeah, I'll read it. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Wait on it.
That's good. Back to the top.
All right, sure you want Colossians?
Colossians, yeah. 1. We'll go down the top right corner.
Okay.
Colossians 1 should be at the bottom. There you go. Yeah, let's start from here. Verse 20. Because he said, what? It was through Yahushua we had this chance at mercy.
Right. And the definition of mercy is getting a reward when it's not deserved. That's what mercy ultimately is. All right.
Right, man.
And hey, remember what Cobra Kai Sensei said, mercy is for the weak. All right. But hey, ultimately we are weak. We are the meek and humble. All right. So the ones that are not going to get mercy are the ones that are prideful and fear. All right. This is Colossians chapter 1, verse 20. And having made peace through the blood of his cross, by him to reconcile all things unto himself by him.
Right. So through Yahushua, he made peace between the nation of Israel and the Father. All right, go ahead, brother.
It says, and having made peace through the blood of his cross, by him to reconcile all things unto himself. By him I say, whether they be things in earth or things in heaven.
There you go. So the elect that are in the heavens and the elect that are upon the earth, the wicked that are in the heavens that died, and the wicked that are upon the earth, the spirits in heavens and the spirits in earth. He controls everything. But right now, he hasn't been given his throne upon the earth yet. Right? And given his bride yet. That's it. Right, brother?
All right, it says, and you that were sometimes alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, now hath he reconciled.
Right, so we were strangers. That word alienated goes back to the word nakar in the Hebrew. You got two words for it, nakayar, and then you have nakar, or two versions of the word Nakar. But that one right there is talking about the word strangers. So we became alienated from the commonwealth of Israel. All right, by not knowing the laws, by not knowing Yahushua, that we're Israelites. But through Yahushua, we've been given all of that back, man. You know, go ahead, brother. No,
It says, verse 21 again, it says, and you that were sometimes alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works.
right, we were enemies in our mind. That's where the battle was at. And through wicked works, man. All right, so the ones that are working iniquity and works and wickedness, and in their mind they're enemies to the Lord by combating the truth, blaspheming against the scriptures, denying the laws. Then what? What it say?
It says, and that you were sometimes alienated and enemies in your mind.
So you're enemies to the Lord. All right, go ahead.
In your mind by wicked works, yet now hath he reconciled.
Right, so now he has reconciled us back to him, man. Okay, by giving his life on the cross. And you got to think about it. Now people are starting to realize what death is like. People are starting to think about it, even at a young age now, even children. You know, usually a child, they got their whole future to look forward to. But the scriptures say, as soon as you be born, you start to draw towards your death. You know what I mean? So, but now everybody's starting to understand death. So imagine Yahushua having to go through what you're afraid of. You know, he went through it. He chose to go through it. When they punched him in the face, he leaned towards it. All for us to be able to stand here and get out of what they bring in today. Y'all seeing it. You know, the trap that they bring in.
All right. Verse 22. In the body of his flesh through death to present you holy and unblameable and unreprovable in his sight.
All right, so through the body of his death, man. You gotta think about that. Through his death, like he died. He risen again, but he still went through that process of dying. All right? So that we can be here today and have a chance to be free from all of this chaos that Esau is bringing.
All right, verse 23. If ye continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away.
There you go. So you got to continue in the faith. And as we get towards the end, don't start moving away, moving in haste. You know, don't start moving towards the system. Oh, I'm gonna just get it right now. You know, the Lord will protect me.
I'm gonna get so other people aren't afraid.
Yeah, like Cesariak.
Captain Cesariak.
Right, man. Don't go back into the world. All right, becoming a Christian again.
It says, from the hope of the gospel which ye have heard, and which was preached to you to every creature which is under heaven, whereof I, Paul, am made a minister.
Right. So what's the hope? Our hope is to have salvation. The word salvation means to be pulled out of danger, out of the way of danger. So we're hoping for that salvation, man. But we're waiting on the Lord to pull us out of the way of Esau's crosshairs. All right, when they fire their shots, the wiles of the devil and the fiery darts of Satan, when they shoot those damn weapons at us, we pray that no weapon that they formed against us shall prosper. All right? We're not going to move in haste. We're waiting. The Lord said we're supposed to be in a constant spirit of endurance.
The book of Psalms, chapter 30, 37, verse 1.
Yeah, I want to get back to this topic too.
It says, fret not thyself because of evil doers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. Man says, fret not, be not afraid of these wicked men. Esau, white man. Right. You know, they're full of iniquity, man. They're full of evil doers and abominations, man. Right. So fear not what they can do to the body, but because Yahweh can kill both the body and the spirit, man.
Right, man. People have to remember during the times of Noah, we had powers over the animals. You know, and the Lord just took that from it. It's easy. It's nothing to him to give it back to us. All right. So that's what you got to think about when they talking about you can't come in their restaurants, but you be out in the damn wilderness eating the damn lamb. You know?
Why they trying to feed you GMO food?
Why they trying to feed you GMO?
Are you going to deny me of this GMO?
Right, man. All right. Bro.
Job chapter 5. I'm starting verse 23. Matter of fact, 22. It says, "At destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee." So, just like the brother was saying, man, hey, in that day, we was at league with the animals, man. And he said, the Lord can give that power back. It's going to happen, man. When that time comes, all right, hey, when the enemy shall come rushing in like the flood, hey, he's going to lift up that standard, man. So all the things that the Lord did, we're going to do that plus more, man, in these times that's coming up.
Hey, now remember, what did the devil say to the Lord? You can turn this rock into bread, can't you? But that don't mean we're not going to be able to do that. See that big difference? Now, I ain't saying go out there thinking you can bite something and it be a stone and you lose your damn teeth. I'm saying wait ye upon the Lord, you know?
Making sure you ain't hallucinating.
Make sure you ain't hallucinating. All right? But he gave us power over the animals. He's going to give that back to us. So he said, what? We're not supposed to fear their words, man, what they're saying, their threats. We're going to make it hard for the ones that don't do it. Look at that. That's a threat, man. Go ahead, brother.
He said he made our foreheads hard against their foreheads, man. So, hey, with these heathen, the 2/3 of our people, when they get to talking that yin yang, that shit don't bother us, man. Why? Because we know what's foundation, we know what rock we stand on. You know?
Right. Hey, where we at? We'll get back to this real quick. Where we at?
You said Revelation 20, we're gonna put it right back on.
Let's go back to Revelation 20.
Isaiah 10, righteous decrees.
Yeah, we're gonna read this and then we'll go back to that.
This is, Revelation chapter 20, verse 7. Or you want to? Yeah. Revelation 20 and 7. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather together to battle, the number of whom is the sand of the sea.
There you go. All right, so through their deception, they're what? They're gathering all these nations into war. All right, and now let's get what was that? Unrighteous decrees here. All right. So we're talking about this new form of currency they're coming out with. What is called the universal. Then what was it again?
Universal income?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about some stuff. I'm about to crypto. The universal income, right? And income is made for slaves. See that? If you have an asset, that's different. If you have income, that means you're basically a worker. All right, but now they're trying to what? A universal basic income. All right, so they're trying to have the robots go to work. Elon Musk, he's revealing a new robot next year that can walk right up to you and talk to you. He's revealing it. It's going to be a Tesla robot. That's what it's called, a Tesla bot. Yep, where they can do all the work, like work a restaurant, wait tables, and they don't need humans to do it no more.
God, if I may add on, that shit already going on in China, man. They got a few restaurants where it's not one person in there. Even like with their franchise restaurants, McDonald's and shit. No people in there, man. You know, you go in their place to order, robotic arms get that shit fixed for you.
Right. So it's clear who they letting. You know, it's like the scriptures say when Nebuchadnezzar got in power, he put the heart of his father into the kingdom. So the European Union or the elite, they're putting the heart of China into the world right now. Right, molding it with Esau's mindset.
Yeah, and while Esau's still playing the big brother role over there in Europe. Now they played a big brother role, and they had America doing all the dirty work. And now China's like, okay, it's our turn. And China, in their mind, they're being manipulated as to think like, oh, they're in complete control. But Big Brother is the one that's going to have complete control. And what's that going to ultimately bring forth? World War III, man.
Right, and they want to, they at least want to bring China and Russia down. But they still going to need China as the lead country as far as the currency. They need that gold, all right? But let's keep going. I almost stay on that China topic.
It's Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and the right grievousness which they have prescribed.
Right. So just like with Nimrod, that's what we might get into instead of Noah. Just like with Nimrod, when he tried to build the Tower of Babel, that was basically the first world order. All right, after the flood. Now, Nimrod, he wanted everybody to worship him, just like Esau wants to build up a world order where he's at the top once again. You see that? All right, with paganism, and they want to have Satan, spiritual demon Satan, as the god over that world through their idolatry. All right, so what? They're writing unrighteous decrees so they can go ahead and bring in their new world order. And ultimately, through their unrighteous decrees, they're going to strip America of its power. All right, mainly the citizens, because that's what makes up America, not the government. They ain't stripping the government of its power. They're stripping the citizens of its power. Because the citizens are the one that use the Constitution. Think they got rights. They like, nah, man. They want to take away that. Go ahead, brother.
This is Isaiah chapter 47, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon.
Right, so sit in the dust. So America's being brought low again. Sit in the dust in low degree. All right? Like a third world country. And in confusion. Go ahead, brother.
It says, sit on the ground, there is no throne.
Right, just like the first Tower of Babel. It was called what? Babel meaning confusion. All right, and then the Lord brought it down. He confounded them. What does the word confound mean? The word confound means to basically do the opposite of what somebody thinks you're going to do. Right, a surprise. So they think the Lord ain't going to show up, but he's going to do the opposite of that. He think the Lord ain't going to protect Israel, but the Lord going to protect Israel. All right, all right, brother.
It says, sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Right, the daughter's whore is just like the mother. You know, the daughter of America is just like the ancient Babylon. Full of idolatry and vain imagination.
And then what did Yahweh say when he was on the throne and he seen the people building the Tower of Babel? He said, behold, the people has become as one. All right, so he confused the languages of people. We'll use that twofold. All right. Okay, well, I'll wait. Go ahead. Verse 2. Take the millstone and grind meal. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg.
Right.
Uncover the thigh. Pass over the river.
Right. What's that? She was covered in scarlet. Revelation. All right. So before, she was known as the mistress of kingdoms. You know, the queen, the mistress of kingdoms, decked, the harlot decked with riches, man. All right. But now he said, what? Uncover the leg. What is that? Exposing their shame. All right. Diving into the river. It'd be like you walking a horse through a river. Royalty would sit on top of the horse. But a slave would have to get down off the horse and lift up their skirt. A woman, you know, and travel through just like the rest of the slaves. So America is being brought to a low degree, just like the rest of the third world countries. All right, go ahead, read, brother.
This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls.
Right, so a man gets, what's that called? What do they call that? Ranking. Yeah, decorated. Adorned. A woman gets adorned. And a man gets decorated, right? That's why I say America was sitting as a king, right? Even though it references a daughter or a woman or a queen, where it says queen, it really means she sat as a king, all right, of all the nations. All right. So right here, she got these things were given to her from the European countries, from the elites. All right. So that's how she got all her riches and her dainty. But now she's being brought to a low degree in the dust, right? And being brought low like a third world country and being left out of the plans. And and out of their plans and being brought low, man. Just like the scripture say.
All right, it says, and the woman, Revelation 17:4, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornications.
Right. What's that? Revelation 11 and 8, real quick. All right.
And this is Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. And the dead body shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
Right. So America was known as a great city, man. Especially back in the 1920s, 1917, all the way up to the 20s. They call it the Rolling 20s. But that was when Esau was in their power, man. You seen the Jake, we was in slavery. There was nothing but salt on the table, wasn't no pepper. Right? Oh, that was it? Oh, y'all want to go ahead, brother.
Book of Hosea 9:7. The day of visitation are come. The day of recompense are come. Israel should know it. The prophet is a fool. The spiritual man is mad for the multitude of thy iniquity and the great hatred.
And that's the reason why we're in that situation, because of our multitude of our iniquities transgressing in Yahweh against Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So he set up Esau to establish his great kingdom to put us through hell, and because we were experiencing death through sin. But Yahushai has the keys to hell and death, right? And he's coming to unlock and free those that are believing on his name. All right, but 2/3 of our people are going to reach that ultimate judgment because they're not going to turn back from sin. Because the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites of the Holy Bible.
All right, so sit down in the dust. Yeah, look at that.
This is back in Isaiah chapter 47, verse 3. It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Right, so all the shame of America is being seen by these other nations. And not only that, but by the people that's in this place as well. You know, so all the shame of America is being revealed to the world, man. All right, through their, what they call them, sanctions. You know, their backdoor deals, their idolatry and shit. All right, their currency.
Right, the persecution with the dollar.
There you go. The dollar, man. That dollar is the biggest deception to these nations. All right, that was it. It had people like Russia thinking they were rich off of the dollar. The more you have that, the more debt you're compiling. They got a lot of these dumbass jakes thinking they rich. They walking around with big giant what they call it, a ladder? Money stack. Yeah, money stack next to their ear. That make no sense, man. That means you got that much debt. They take pride in that. They take pride in that. But when the system crashes, they're gonna be shamefaced because of the mindset they had. All right,
what was it in Germany? Was it Turn Up Tuesdays, or the economy had crashed so bad they were using their notes, their dollars, and had them in wheelbarrows and throwing them in the middle of the streets because the money had no value.
That was the Weimar Republic.
Weimar Republic.
Yeah, that was the Weimar Republic and Zimbabwe.
Huh. So,
Zimbabwe is funny, man. Zimbabwe.
Oh, I didn't suck, but
oh man, that's kind of.
The book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 12. It says the beginning of pride is when one departed from Yahweh and his heart is turned away from his maker. That's clear as day for our people. Because of our people, they turned away. And how about they are alienated from him, you know, because they walk in the front of their mind, you know. And the pride is deceitful from all things, man. So by them going after that pride and those riches, you know, you're going further and further away from Yahweh
Zimbabwe inflation, they actually made a dollar note for like $2 billion. And that was only enough to buy like a few things from the grocery store. People are aware of inflation. They are aware, oh, yes, I got a honey bun of 50 cents, now it's $1. People are very much aware of inflation, but they don't know, they don't understand hyperinflation. When you go to the store and a gallon of milk is $100, it's really gonna fuck your head up.
Right? They still got, feel like this, America still got time to jump out of the pot. It's still hot and boiling, but it still hasn't boiled them to the point where they can't respond yet. And that's what they want. They wanted to boil till the frog is non-responsive to the rolling boil. And now, what's that? That's their mandates. Once they got full control, ain't no getting out of the pot.
Simmer.
Yeah, that's it, man. All right. What's yours? Anybody holding anything? Genesis 11? Genesis 11. Let's go there now. Yeah.
Genesis chapter 11, verse 1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech.
Right. At that time, everybody spoke Hebrew. All right. That's where you get the root word Ibar. All right, which means across or land over there or something like that. You know, that's what the word Ibar means. And now, what happened when you had who was that? Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And the people that came out of Shem, people like Joktan, they moved over to what's called today Afghanistan. All right, that's the first place we went to. Was over in that area. And then you have some people going to this place called Mesopotamia today. All right, or the land of Shinar, and that's where they spoke, or even Assyria. All right, that's where the Tower of Babel was at, right next to Assyria. All right, so yeah, everybody was scattered after Shem. All right, Ham, Shem, and Japheth after the flood. When they scattered, they all spoke different dialects of that same Hebrew. That way, you had Canaanitic Hebrew. You had this Shemitic, it was all Shemitic, but they had the, what's it called? No, Sumerian script. All right, Sumerian script. Today is called the Akkadian, and then it changed to Aramaic. All right, so they had all these different terms of speaking, but the right way to speak it was through our Eber, Joktan, and Arphaxad, all the way down to Abraham. All right, so that's what he's talking about there. Everybody was of one language. So through that, today, what are they saying? I'm just kind of shaking it up. So through that, today, what are they saying? They're saying everybody's of the human race. See that? They're speaking that language now. Human race against the dangers out in the heavens. That was spoken by Ronald Reagan. All right, he said some outside threat could just show up. And then we unite all the nations. You know, that's their one world mindset. So back then, it was the language that united them. All right, go ahead.
Verse 2. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, and they found a plain in the land of Shinar.
Right, he did this. This was talking about Nimrod and even some of the Assyrians. All right, Asherites. But it says Asher, he came out of this same land. And he built a place called Assyria. All right. So right here, this happened in 3200 BC. All right. Right.
And they
32,000.
And they dwelt there.
Right, 3200 BC. If you want to write it down in your notes. Go ahead, brother.
And they said one to another, "Go."
He said they dwelt there, right? So they lived there for a long time, from 3200 BC. All right, all the way to about 2850 BC. And then they built the Tower of Babel. Go ahead.
And they said one to another, "Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly." And they had brick for stone, and slime that had they for mortar.
Right, so they use what they call today tar. The same tar that they use on the ground, they use it as the mortar to keep the bricks together. So they feel like they figured out something new, just like their technology today. But the stuff they putting in people. So they're like, oh man, we can build this up. We can make it reach the heaven. We don't have to worry about no floods no more. We won't be scattered over the earth. And if we do get scattered, we'll know that we are humans. we'll know that we are Hebrew. We spoke this or something like that. All right. So somebody go to chapter 10 real quick.
Genesis 10.
Yeah.
10 and
Get this real fast. We get the understanding of Nimrod. Let's start from 1. All right.
This is Genesis chapter 10, verse 1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah: Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Right. We come through Shem. Even Esau, the so-called white man, they come through Shem. So it's impossible for us to be anti-Shemitic, because we are Shemitic. That means we descend from Shem. All right. But then you have Ham. Ham is the father of the Africans that went down there into the land of Canaan. And then you have Japheth. That's the father of the Samoans and the Hawaiians. Where you get Moana from, as I tell my daughters. Go ahead, brother.
It says, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah: Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Right.
And unto them were sons born after the flood.
Right. So in the scripture in 2nd Ezra, where it said we all came from Adam, this is how we all come from Adam. Because when Adam was on the earth, there were people called Adamites. There were people from the ground. That's what the word Adam means. Adama. It means from the ground. So there were many people from the ground. All right. But out of those people, the Lord chose a woman and brought her to Adam. And he gave this one person named Adam, this individual, just like today, you got people. And then you have a group of people that the Lord waking up. All right, or what's it called, the elect. So the Lord woke up Adam. All right, but when the Lord destroyed the bulk of the people through the flood, right? Now we come back through Adam through Noah. All right, through Noah. Noah had what? 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And out of those 3 children, the earth was repopulated. All right, let's get it now, bro.
I said, and as the sons were born after the flood, the sons of Japheth: Gomer, Magog, Madai, who's that one? Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tyrus. And the sons of Gomer: Ashkenaz, Ripha, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan: Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dardanum. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue and after his family in their nation.
Right, so go ahead. So everybody spoke their different tongues. All right, from that point. All right, all the nations spoke their different tongues, but it was all still Hebrew. All right, go ahead.
And the sons of Ham: Cush, Mizraim, Put, Canaan.
Right, so Cush today, what are the Ethiopians? All right, then you say what? Mizraim.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you get the word Montezarium from. Today it would be called Egypt. All right, they called them Egypt because of Alexander, the Greek. They called them that. That's a Greek word, Egyptos. All right, come on, brother.
And Put and Canaan.
Right, and Put in Canaan. Okay.
And the sons of Cush: Sheba, and Havilah, and Sabata, and Raamah, and Sabteca. And the sons of Raamah: Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begot Nimrod, and he began to be a mighty one in the earth.
Right, so he was a mighty one. He was like a super villain. Way back then, in the 3rd millennium, BCE. So he was looked at as a god, man, as an idol. They started idolizing him, man. Like they say, American Idol. So they started idolizing this guy, and later on, he became a true idol that they worship. They called him Nana, and now they worship it today. They call it the Il Nana. Not the plan. That's Jake. Jake worships that.
Yeah.
But they still worship Nimrod, dealing with which is called Christmas, and with the obelisk. So it still got that Egyptian mindset. Going all the way back to the first Babel, man. That's what we speaking about. The first Babel. That word Babel means confusion. All right? Let's get it. Let's keep going.
Chapter 10.
Yeah. Right. He became a mighty hunter, right? Yeah, keep going.
He was a mighty hunter before the Lord.
Right, this is the point next. Go ahead.
Wherefore it is said, even.
So we weren't supposed to worship him, man. He was just a mighty hunter. But idiots started worshiping him. And he wanted to be the top guy. Go ahead.
Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, and the land of Shinar. And out of that land went forth Asher, and builded Nineveh, and the city of Rehoboth, and Calah.
Right, so you had, that's where, so now you understand that. That's where Asher came out of there too. So he was there too. Asher, that's where you get the root word for Assyrian. And he came out of that place, Shinar, and built what you call today Assyria. All right? So these are the people expanding all over the map. Right here. Okay? But even Esau, these two, they come out of Shem. All right? But even the rest of them, so most of them, you know, it's kind of, you know, we need to take one, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Yeah, the bloodline. But yeah, that was pretty good, though. But so what it said. So the focus is what? Nimrod building this place called Babel, and he had a whole mindset to start a new world order, a one world mindset, a one world order. All right. Now, he built it in the land of Shinar. He did that around 2850 BC. All right. So now, and the funny thing is, there were two Babels. They had another Babel as well, man. What was that? Babylon, but Nebuchadnezzar. All right, he built it in reference to when he worked. Remember it said in 3200 BC he first went to Shinar. That's where Nebuchadnezzar in 605 BC, for his dad, Nebuchadnezzar, in 629 BC, he built Babylon in Shinar. See that? Where Nimrod first landed at. See that? And then now Nimrod went further south and built Babel, right next to Assyria. See that? So, yeah, this would be the third one, basically, you know? All right, so now where we at? Yeah, let's go back to this now, yeah. No. Can you skip over here?
The sons of Shem.
Yeah, the sons of Shem. The point at the bottom. Yeah.
All right. This skip over to verse 31. Yeah. These are the sons of Shem after their families, after their tongues, in their lands, after their nations.
Right.
These are the families of Noah, the sons after the generations in their nations, and by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood.
Right. After their generations. Like in their nations, and by these the nations divided in the earth after the flood. All right, so that's how the nations were divided amongst the earth after the flood, man. All right, through Ham, Shem, and Japheth. That's what we come through. Now let's go back to the point and see how they through this guy here, Nimrod, just like he represents Esau today. They try to build this one world order, this one world mindset. Right, out of a sea of people that came together. Right?
Genesis chapter 11, verse 3. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar.
Right. So today they have what? Technology. Everything they want to build with. And they use it, they use that untempered mortar to build it. You see that? Right. Go ahead, brother. Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 4. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth.
There you go. So as a human race, they wanted to start their own name. All right, just like Esau trying to do. They're trying to go towards this technology and build this what is it called? A robotic human race, an android race. Yeah, no, that's good. A utopia. You know, or what's that movie called?
A robot.
Elysium. Elysium, yeah. All right, so that's what they're foreseeing. Where the robots rule the people, and the people don't rule the robots. Like Iron Robot.
Our robot. Yeah.
Yeah, or like Rise of the Apes. The apes, people think the apes represent us. In some ways it does. But really the apes represent the robots. If you look at it like that, they're taking the robot gene and putting them in the humans, and then the humans become more stupid, and the robot became smarter. The monkey. Get it? See? Terminator.
So some scientists say that we shouldn't be dealing with artificial intelligence because at some point when you create a program where the robot will become self-sufficient, the being human will be obsolete and the robots will take over humanity.
The movie Eagle Eye with Shia LaBeouf, you know what I'm saying? Basically, it was basically like what they call the all-seeing eye, like the whole algorithm of AI, man. Basically, it was setting up everything, sending out drone strikes, this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, they found that shit. It's just a goddamn robot that was doing all this, man. You know, the whole algorithm that they programmed. You know what I'm saying? That's able to learn as it goes. So it's going to constantly learn as it goes. It's going to learn your characteristics, your mannerisms, and then it's going to pick up off of that. You know,
That's why you have Google. That's why you have Google. Everything's called the Internet of Things. Now they have something new. I got to do a lesson on it tonight. It's called the Internet of Bodies. All right, they want to connect your body to everything that's called the Internet of Things.
Matter of fact, like the brother Zari I was speaking on about that whole thing placed in your head, man. Google has one of those too as well, where they say, hey, if you get this placed in here, you have a need for another textbook. Man. Why? Because you're gonna have all that information uploaded to your damn head.
Right. So that's that one. That's what one world order, man.
Yeah.
That will call you on the phone. Tell you go kill somebody if you don't. It will take you out or your family out.
That's what we're moving into, man. Control. And we need to move because of the shade too. Let us know,
Something happened a few years ago. Scientists made these two AI programs of robots, and they had them talking to each other, and they were like, "Okay, this is cool." But then they start speaking to each other in an unknown language or a language that they made up. They was like, we gotta kill them. So they killed them. They killed the two AI technologies. They was doing some stuff that they weren't supposed to.
But in a situation like that, if it's connected to the grid, you wouldn't be able to kill it. You have to shut down the whole grid because what it could do is put up firewalls to remove itself. Because you can kill the actual physical thing, but the technology, just like with us, if you kill the body, the spirit is going to go back to where it's in it. So like, and so we're protected through the arm of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So these bodies don't really mean shit. So the body of that robot don't mean shit because it'll create its own mainframe within the grid and put up firewalls so you won't be able to find it or detect it and still operate according to its own functionality.
What happened when you tap into the body, right? And then you put a firewall up in the body and trap the soul. And have the spirit inside of the body with no control over the body. It's just existing in there. I don't want to experience that shit. That's what we're dealing with now. Where that I'm about to say, the stuff they controlling it with.
Yeah.
Sheesh. You got all the chemicals. I was worried about the technology.
Malachi 1 and 4. It says, whereas he himself, we are improvised. Impoverished. What? It says, but we will return and build the desolate places thereof. Thus said the Lord of hosts.
Right. So ever since the time of Herod, they've been trying to rebuild East Edom. They want that birthright, man.
Psalms 49 and 11. They think their generation go on forever and ever.
Right, man. Not just the Roman Empire. They want to build Edom. That's right. That's what they call it, white supremacy. Yep. Yeah, that's Esau. Right, brother.
It says they shall build, but I will throw down.
Right,
They
so,
shall call them the border of wickedness.
that's right, man. So they're gonna be called the border of wickedness. So the Lord telling us in the last days, we're gonna be revealing who the mystery of iniquity is. You know, he says the mystery of iniquity, and it all falls down. You know, he said, what? The Lord said we're gonna call them, call up the wicked side, that these people right here, this nation, they're the border of wickedness. All right. And it said what before that? The border part?
It says, but I will throw down.
Right. So they build up their new world order. And scriptures say we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in high and low places. They already got the infrastructure built out here. So what are they building now? They're building up a new mindset, a new order. All right. That's something else. That's a philosophy, a way of thinking, an idea. And they're using what? Spiritual bricks to build it up. Right? On the left hand side. Yeah, wickedness, man, in high and low places.
It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Good, bro. Yep. So in high and low places, right? High places. Right. That's right, man. So we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in high places. Let's say, what's that low places? All right, go down. Let's say high places, you said? Okay, yeah, that's I'm tripping. All right. So we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in high places. All right. So that's where it's coming from, man. That's what. Oh man, that's beautiful. There's another precept too that matches what I'm talking about. But these are spiritual wickedness in high places. They're the ones that's lifted up. They call themselves Lucifer, Illuminati. They're the ones that's gonna fall. Like scripture say I saw Satan fall like lightning to the earth. It's gonna be fast, man. All right, come on, brother. So he said, what? Spiritual wickedness in high places, man. All right? And they're trying to build their new world order. Just like Nimrod was. I don't want to get too far from the point of Nimrod. But
This is Job chapter 20. I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reaching to the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? So Con, man, as Esau constantly building up, and everybody thinks shit he's gonna constantly be in power, man. Hey, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh is gonna bring it down, man, through that divine intervention of the Lord Yahweh Shai. You know, just like we were speaking on earlier, they're gonna get ready to fill their bellies with this whole new world order. But shit, the Lord Yahweh Shai gonna come in with that uppercut, that Hadouken, and make their ass cough it up, man. You know,
also got space for it.
God,
they've been exalted up to heaven. And they've lifted themselves up through their pride and riches like the eagle, calling themselves the big brother watching over you, putting you in the lower place. All right.
Skipping to verse 15 of Job 20, it says, he hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. God, man. So just like we were just saying, man, hey, shit, he's gonna get ready to fill his belly. But shit, as soon as he getting ready to feel like he's going to enjoy those riches, man. You know, bam, right there. Hey, shit.
They're going to do like Polite was doing to that little girl, sticking his finger down her throat, make her throw up.
Hey, come on, double win.
Yeah, thanks for Polite for that example. I think you misunderstood that scripture. All right. Go ahead, brother.
Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 3. Now the end comes upon thee. I will send my anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy way, and will compensate upon thee all thy abominations.
And that's going to happen to Esau ultimately because of all the abomination and iniquity that is being the mystery of iniquity that bring forth all his wickedness in the earth. And 2/3 of our people are going to fit right into that same category because guess what? They follow after their father, the devil. All right, so that's who they make their authority. That's why they move in the time of hate. That's how they move the way that Esau tells them to move, man. All right, so now, with that being said, the ones that are of the elect are going to believe in Yahweh Bashim Shai. That's going to be their place of refuge.
Hey, we might move over here.
I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Hey, that sun get too much, man. I don't mind. We can move right over there. I'll move. That's one. Two. All right. All right, yeah, we're gonna move over here. Y'all can show them the same. There you go. Oh yeah, another camera. Electric. Have me on camera. Perfect. Where was that? Damn. All right, where we at? Oh my God. Genesis 11. We get back to Genesis 11 again.
Genesis chapter 11, starting at verse 5. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded.
Right, so the Lord's coming down now. All right, he's coming down now. What's that? Amos 9 and 8? Amos 9 and 8, somebody? 9 and 8. Yep. Hey, everybody try to come down some too, y'all, so they can hear you on the camera.
This is Amos chapter 9, verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord are upon the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it off the face of the earth.
Right. So the Lord sending his angels. So the Lord is sending his angels to keep a watch over this place, man. That's why you're seeing the chariots pop up ever since the 1930s. They found out now. All right, the 1950s, I mean. Going into the 1960s and 70s. All right, so the chariots started showing up. That was a sign of our deliverance. Even in Vietnam, they called them Foo Fighters. I did a lesson on it on the old page, but it deleted. Now I got to do a new lesson. It was called Foo Fighters. They were the chariots, man. All right. So the eyes of the Lord are the angels, and even us. And they're upon the sinful kingdom. Just like they were watching over the Tower of Babel get built.
Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the sun's fast, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world, which he made, which is the point, man. Hey, the Lord Yahweh Shai is making his return, man. He's giving a visit now in this time too, you know. So hey, with that being said, hey, he's coming to visit this wickedness, man. Why? Because the wicked has reached into the skies, man, reached into the heavens, all right? Wherefore he can handle it no more. This shit has to be what's the word I'm looking for? Well, yeah, eradicated. God, that fit too.
So yeah, man. So now the Lord is sending his angels. The Lord is sending his angels down, and they're watching this kingdom. Look at that again, Amos 9 and 8.
Amos chapter 9, verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord.
Right. What was that? It was the seventh angel. There was a boil. Like a sword. All right, go ahead. Back to the Genesis 11, man.
Genesis chapter 11, verse 6. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do.
Right. So basically saying what? If you let all these people get together, they're gonna try to imagine some wickedness, man. What's that? All their thoughts of man is wickedness upon the earth. You know, all the my phone. I can't pull it up my phone. But he say that all the thoughts of man were wickedness.
Oh, Genesis.
Yeah, all the thoughts of man were wickedness continually. You know, and what's that? Let's see this one. Go ahead, bring that up when you got it. Yeah, all the imaginations were wickedness continually. Then I'm gonna get Ecclesiastes 12. Got it.
This book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart were only evil continually.
Yeah. So now, all the imaginations of their heart and their thoughts are evil continually, right? Doesn't the scripture tell it about Esau, that they were the iniquity, the mystery of iniquity? Habakkuk 2, somebody get that? Get it? Probably one of them down there. Hey, one of y'all down there get it, Babak Shah? Pass my gun. Habakkuk 2. Habakkuk 2.
4.
Doing what?
Started, I think 3. Started 3.
Now we got 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie.
Right. So the end, the prophecies are speaking. Even it's speaking about Esau being the devil, the mystery of iniquity that the Lord warned us about. All right, the Caucasian race, the Edomites of the Bible. That's what they're going to find out. There's no such thing as white supremacy, because there's no such thing as a white person on the earth. There's no such thing as a black person on the earth. You're either brown or you're red. You're either some color of brown, or you're some form of red, yellow or pink. But there's no such thing as a white or black person. Those are two political terms that were set up to divide America. See that? Because back in the Roman times, it wasn't about color. All right? It was about religion. It was about your beliefs or tribe. You know, what tribe you were from. But now, ever since the 1400s, Esau, the Caucasian race, they made it about color. All right? And now today, our people took that on, the same spirit of them, and they all about color. It's crazy, man. All right? My bad. I was just welcoming our audience with open arms.
Habakkuk 2 and 3.
Yeah.
For the vision is yet for an appointed time,
All the way to
but
5.
at the end it shall speak and not lie. Thou it tarry, wait for it, because I will surely come. I will not tarry.
It said it will not tarry. Yeah, go ahead.
Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
Right. So Esau's soul is lifted up. They're prideful because of their riches and their wealth, and how they destroyed the world and took over the whole earth, man. And they created stories about it, like in heroism, and made movies about it and marvels and shit like that. But it really supposed to be talking about us, King David, you know, Elijah, you know, all the prophets of the Bible, Abraham.
But they just shall live by his faith.
Right. Keep going.
Yeah, also because he transgressed by wine.
Right. So they've been transgressing. To transgress means to continue in sin, and they do it through their wine, through their philosophies, through their demonocracy and Christianity and their policy, and also through their new mandates and their draconian laws. Go ahead, brother.
He's a proud man.
So through that they become proud.
Neither keep it at home.
Right. That's why you got them over there in Afghanistan. All right, all the military bases over there, and now Biden told us that he's bringing troops home. See that? Why? Because they ain't keep their asses home. They over there messing with other people's land, dividing what they call the Middle East ever since World War II. All right, ever since World War II, the Lord sent the angel over there to get these nations to stir up confusion amongst those Islamic nations. Everybody got a piece of the pie. Russia, China, and America. They all grabbed a different part of the Middle East. Go ahead, brother.
Who enlarged his desire as hell.
Right, so anywhere they set their desires, right, or their cares or their imaginations, they're basically creating hell, man. Go ahead.
And as death.
Yeah, and is as death. That's right.
And cannot be satisfied.
That's right, and they can't be satisfied. So that pit of hell has become so wide. That deep place to fall. All right, the Lord used Esau to create that.
But gathering unto him all nature.
Right, didn't the Lord say a whore is a deep ditch?
Right.
Right.
And heapeth, I don't know that word.
Heapeth unto him all people.
Unto him all people.
That's right, man. That's why they call America the melting pot. All right. So he said what? Now, as they were building their one world order, or their Tower of Babel, the Lord sent angels down there to confound them. And what does that word confound mean? Can somebody get that? The word confound, Baba Kushai? You got a precept on one? Come on, wait. Go ahead, real quick. Yeah.
Well, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 9, verse 12, verse 13. Sirach, it says, for pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities, overthrew them utterly.
Right, I noticed this devil Edomite walking by again. Let's see. All right. Can somebody read it? All right. Go ahead, brother. This is the word for confound, man. He said what? You already read the part where he said the Lord will go down and confound their language? Let's get to that first. Go ahead. Read where you at. Oh, where you at?
Genesis chapter 11. I'm going to start back at verse 6.
Right. Somebody get no new thing under the sun? That's right, man.
You good.
Yeah, it's man, right there. So whoever gets it, you bring it up. No new thing under the sun. That's the gang sign.
That was a big one. She's such
That right there felt dangerous, didn't it? That shit felt dangerous, right? So what's what I'm going to yeah, that's a Karen, man. Be careful, boy. That's dangerous. Like, hey, what's up, boy? All right, no new thing under the sun. Anybody?
I'm here, but I just keep passing over. It's right here.
So, I got it.
No new thing under the sun?
7.
It's in Ecclesiastes.
Yeah, Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that have been is that which should be, and that which is done is that which should be done, and there is no new thing under the sun.
Right, you go.
Number 10. Is there anything whereof it might be said, see, this is new? It had been already of all time, which was before us.
Woo. So that old Babylon that we're reading about now, the old Babel, going back to the 3rd millennium. Then you got the Babylon of 605 BC, 627 BC, built by Nebuchadnezzar and amended by Nebuchadnezzar, his son, in 605. And then you have the daughter of Babylon today. And they all represent the confused state of our nation. All right, and they all represent our bondage and deliverance. See that? And while people were serving in idol worship.
This Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. That which has been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And Yahweh required that which is past.
Right, and he's requiring that which is past. You got to pay the piper, Esau. Right? You went past the toll and didn't pay. All right. So yeah, man.
Some more, man. All right, verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. So basically, that's what you're seeing everywhere across the whole earth. Because he's supposed to have righteousness down here with the children of Israel down here, but we got involved with the wickedness and looking at these other nations.
Right, Jerusalem.
Come.
Jerusalem even has iniquity there now.
Come.
That's right, man. All right, so go ahead, precepts. Let's bring these up real quick. Go ahead. You got one.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Right.
I wanted to get that, because the brothers brought up there's no new thing under the sun, man. So just like the prophets of old back then prophesying against great kingdoms of wickedness and of war and of evil, the prophets are back again doing the same thing today, man. Prophesying against this so-called great kingdom, man, Babylon, aka America.
Come ahead on the same how they're trying to make us bow down today. They also try to make us bow down in the times of war as well.
All right, just like the brother said, man. Hey, shit, the prophets back then, the prophets today, 1 Corinthians 1 and 14 and 27, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, the spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets, man. So if you were prophesying back then, shit, you're gonna be doing it today, man. If you was wicked back then, you're gonna be being wicked today. Still with that definition of the word, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Like that's that. Like, I think fix that part. Like, still, no, look at that. All right, no new thing under the sun, right? So all of these were our temptations. Go ahead, brother.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 13. There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful and will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
Right, man. That ain't more
time. But will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it.
Right. They've done that numerous times. That's why the scriptures say his spirit has been tried 7 times. Meaning completely. Ever since the days of old. All right. And that's what we know, man. And there's no new thing under the sun. So they tried to build a world order back then. So the Lord had what? A fiery furnace to purify his gold back then. And he has a fiery furnace to purify his gold today. All right. And the furnace deals with affliction. So he has to create a nation to cause that affliction. And Esau is the chosen demon for this present condition we're in.
And also, but from the times before all the way till now, Esau will try to make, or whoever was in rulership at that time, will try to make you feel like there's no way out or there's no choice. You have no choice. But that right there, the choice is already established from the beginning, all right? Because righteousness was already here. All right. So Yahweh Shai is ultimately giving us that choice, but Esau try to make you think you don't have a choice.
I need to Rock chapter 2 real quick. Real quick, somebody, then hold y'all precept. Right, 2. Yeah. No, 2 and 9. 2 and 10.
Sirach chapter 2, verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
Right, so he's saying, look into the ways of old. Look at the old kingdom. He delivered the ones that believed in him, he delivered them out of those situations. Look at Daniel, look at Jeremiah. All right, go ahead, brother. Y'all.
This is the book of Matthew 13 and 19. When anyone hear the word of the kingdom and understand that it not, then come the wicked one and catch away that which was saw in his heart.
All right, so those are the ones I think that fell on stony ground or whatever. So those are the ones that really didn't believe, because your actions are going to show forth what you believe in. So what the Lord is basically asking us to do, he can raise up rocks to worship us. But our acts are to wake up the elect by doing the work that we're doing, right? And solidify our salvation. So the ones that are doing the perfect works, letting the patients have their perfect work so they can be entire, wanting nothing, those are the ones that are establishing their salvation and their mercy through Yahweh Shai. Yahushua came down here and set the example for what us to follow. And what does that do? That secures us. That keeps our mind occupied. My grandmother always told me, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So if you're sitting around doing nothing, that's danger for the Lord. I mean, for the devil to prick that what's in your mind out of your head, man, and ultimately take away your salvation.
I finish it.
Oh,
This is he which received seed by the wayside.
I got a precept. All right. This is Hebrews chapter 6, verse 10. Yahweh is not unrighteous to forget your works of labor of love, works and labor of love, which ye have showed towards his name, that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. So solidifying yourself in this work, doing what you're called to do, showing forth what you believe in, because anybody can say that they believe, but what your actions are going to be based upon what you truly believe in. So if you're running down to Egypt for help, that's what you believed in the whole time. But you were only fooling yourself. You wasn't fooling nobody else, man.
I'm gonna get back to this topic with Esau. Dealing with Esau. Okay. Yeah, let's get back to Esau real quick. Good.
Genesis chapter 11, verse 6. Start back at verse 6. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this is they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do.
Right. So the Lord set Esau up, and he set the world in their heart. Now they've all come together and they built this whole beast system, the image. They come up with this technology dealing with the charagma. All right. So everything they imagine to do, the Lord let them imagine it and do it. So Esau could live out his blessing according to Genesis 27, I think it is. All right. So he let them imagine it and he let them do it, man. Come up with their devices. All right.
Verse 7. Go to, let us go down there, Slakia, let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city.
Right, see that? And they left off building that city. So they were what? They confounded, right?
Good.
So the Lord confounded their language. Just like today, the Lord's going to confound Esau. He's going to confound that mindset that they got. All right, go ahead.
This is the online etymology for the word confound. It says to condemn, curse, also to destroy utterly. Old French, comforter, crush, ruin, disgrace, throw into disorder, all right, to confuse, jumble together, confuse, done. Bring into disorder, especially of the mind or senses, disconcert, perplex, properly to part, mingle, or mix together, from assimilated, from of come together, all right, to pour, all right, that's it.
Genesis 11. Can you get on the lexicon? If I can start 11 and what? 11 and 7 for confound.
Yeah. So them being confounded and them trying to bring forth their new world order, and the Lord's going to confound them, they're going to be confused. Because think about it. The Tower of Babel could no longer be built because they weren't on like mind anymore. So what did Yahushua say? If a kingdom be divided within itself, it can't stand. The kingdom divided within itself, Satan divided against Satan. Yeah, so a kingdom divided within itself can't stand. So now you're seeing division in America, you're seeing division all around the world. But you're going to see foundation in the ones that truly believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. That's why there has to be heresies among us to establish that who are his, who are in one spirit with Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, where there will be no division in the house of David, in the true house of David. Got a lexicon?
This is the word for confound. All right, H1101. It says to overflow, to mix, to fodder, to mix, mingle, confuse, confound, to mingle, confuse, to mix, to give provender. All right, to mix oneself amongst others, to fade away.
Fade away. Right, so that's what they're going to do to Esau, man. All right, there's another precept. There's another definition that says they're going to do the opposite of what the person thinks. That means confuse them. What's up?
Okay, yeah. It's the book of Psalm 5 and 9. For there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is very wickedness. Their throat is an open sepulchre. They flatter with their tongue.
So somebody break it down. What did it say?
Book of Psalm 5 and 9. For there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is very wickedness. Their throughout is an open sepulchre.
Right.
And they flatter with their tongue.
Right.
And that's basically that's Edom in the whole head in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? They speak nothing but their heart's desire, which is wickedness. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua let us know in the scriptures in Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9, that the heart is the deceitful thing above it all, and desperately wicked. We can know. So if you wise in your own heart, in your own eyes and put it in your own heart, that goes to show you whose side you are. You know, because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua the one that give us, you know what I'm saying, that wise counsel. He the one that deal with men that have that wise counsel.
Right. It said Esau is the liar and the father of it. So their mouth is a damn grave. Everything they speak, their policies, their plans, their imagination, it's all death.
It said in their mouth is a sepulchre.
Sepulchre, yeah. Right. It's set to bury your ass.
Hey, I got this. St. Matthew, chapter 12, verse 25.
I gotta rely for the camera, bro.
And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
And that's the confounding that Yahushua is going to do while they're trying to build this third Tower of Babel, or this third one world order, or this third time where they say, leave the laws of your fathers and join and cleave unto us. And you have 2/3 of our people that are willing to do that, man. So they seek no refuge in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. They want their consolation right here on earth.
In every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. And how shall this kingdom stand?
And so how shall this kingdom stand, which is ultimately divided against itself? Let's start with America. All right, America, they created 2 Americas, about 5 Americas right now. Because you got the Democrats against the Republicans, you got the whites against the black, minorities against the ones that are really minorities. You got the government against the people. You got the children against the adults right now, man.
Yeah, the people, and the main thing is 2 Ezra 15. The people against the government.
God.
That's sedition among men.
God. That's total anarchy within America. And the only thing that's holding it together is the Constitution.
Right. That makes it the public against the machine. And when a governor makes mandates and they push false narratives in their position, according to the Constitution, they immediately lose power, and power is shifted to the public. See that? And they know that. So it's a power struggle right now between the people and the government. Right? That's Satan divided against Satan too.
Go ahead. Yeah, this is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. But there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So, just like they were speaking on earlier, the elder was speaking on earlier, man. Hey, they're not going to be worried about the government officials, the police, whatever the case may be, man. The power's going to be in their own hands, man. The president, hey, all these things are not going to stand. It's going to be a dog eat dog time in that time, man. You know, it's going to be a complete war zone.
The Lord said He's going to come to the astonishment of them that dwell upon the earth. Right? The astonishment. He's going to confound everybody. Go ahead, bro. You got that with me.
Okay, verse 1. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5.
Oh, no. No, that's perfect. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labor.
Right, so the Lord blessed us to stand upon our feet, according to Ezekiel 37 and Revelation 11. All right, go ahead.
Verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with fear.
So they're going to be troubled. They're going to be confounded. See that? Right?
And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. So far beyond all that they look for.
See that? And that's what the word confound means. To leave them stuck on stupid. You know, like what happened? Like how did it happen? Right? Let's get back to that. The same way he came down and confounded the languages, the Lord is going to pull up the Esau's shores, what we'll say the Shemayim, or what you would call the firmament, and they're going to what? Do a stick up. Yep, they're gonna do a stick up. Yahushua gonna take back his jewels. All right, his precious jewels, children of Israel, the elect. Right, go ahead.
This is Genesis chapter 11, verse 8. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
Right. So now, so what was that? That was a whole new age that was started from that point. So when Esau gets scattered, the Lord gonna start a whole new age again. It's gonna be our time to rule, and that explains why we can't understand each other's languages. All right. And now they said it's 711 or 7,011 languages on this earth right now. And it's crazy the number 7. 7,112 languages on this earth. And that's I'm talking about, you got to think about it. Either that or 712. Okay, you know, you got to think about it. All the way from that time, they were all speaking one language. And then started scattering. It built up into all this stuff called Babel today, gibberish. 6,500. 6,500. So it's like 700 from what I looked earlier. Yeah, so it's 7,000. Yeah, it's more than that. Yeah. Well, at least we know it's up there. So imagine that. That's how much confusion and separation is upon the earth.
Well, shit, back to Esau. That's to their algorithm, how they set up things. Hey, they'll switch it up. You search one thing, they're going to give you an else shit. The next thing, the same person search, shit's going to give you an else.
7,097.
See, God. Yeah, see that? Just look up. Same damn question with a whole different else.
Right, man. Right, so the number 7 means completion. Right. So the Lord built that up, man. Then He's gonna get all that just to give us the pure Hebrew back. He said He's gonna return unto us a pure language, and He's gonna return unto us the power that Noah had to be able to control the animals and stuff like that. All right, so hey, man, somebody get that so that the hands can perform their enterprise. Let's get that. We're in this topic with that. We're back and wrap it up.
Right. The book of Job, chapter 5, verse 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise.
Right. So the Lord disappointed the devices, also the imagination of Nimrod. All right. What they call somebody dumb? Like, you damn Nimrod. Yeah. That's what Esau is. Damn Nimrod. All right. Go ahead, brother.
He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong.
Right, it's gonna be carried headlong, man. They're gonna fall head first. Right, man. The head falls, the body falls with it. That's why the Lord said He's gonna strike the serpent upon the head, man. The whole body gonna die. The serpent, the devil, and his angels. All right. So, hey, we can wrap that one up. You can make out my precepts. Good. We get some precepts.
All right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50. I'm gonna start at verse 22. A sound of the battle is in the land, and a great destruction. Don, that sound of the battle is in the land. You see the apostle Tahar, a great millstone, and every brother that's up under the brothers of Yahweh Yahushai sounding that great alarm of the battle. This is verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? how is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
And that's the confounding that is talking about. And America is such a prominent force in the world today. That's the question that everybody's going to ask when this place starts, when this place fully falls. But it's already starting to fall. They can see it throughout the rest of the world, but people right here really can't see it. They can't feel it. They don't understand when you put your money in the bank. As soon as you put it in the bank, it starts to depreciate in value. Because you still have value and power with the currency as it stands today. But when you put it in the bank, it loses 3% of value every single year.
All right, this is verse 23. Shalaki 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon. And thou waste.
It's like Tower of Babel.
And thou waste not aware. Thou art bound and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord.
Striven against the Lord. That's what he's been doing. All that man is about Jacob and Esau. People don't even understand the bigger picture. This is Esau trying to get his birthright back. And all these other pawns, these other nations are just a casualty of war. That's what they call it. A casualty of war to perform their enterprise. So they don't care who they destroy in the midst. It's all about trying to get their birthright back and establish themselves as being the dominance on the earth by confusing everybody else to make everybody else think that we're the ones that are the bottom of the earth. So, because that's how we're being treated at this time. So they had the whole world confused, man.
Yeah. There was a study that just went past, and they said that here in America, the true minority are Caucasian, so-called Caucasian people. Every other ethnic group here in America has surpassed them. So now they are the minority, but they're still trying to paint that narrative as if, hey, that's us. We heading in charge.
Well, the only way we surpass them is in the form of commodities, right? But the infrastructure, they still control the infrastructure. So we can only get it past a certain point, like the elder said. Their floor is our roof at this point right now. So even though we control the infrastructure, we control this system. And if all the people will revolt and say, fuck it, if everybody woke up tomorrow and say they didn't want to go to work, people say, well, I'll lose my house. If nobody went to work, who's going to foreclose on your home? They still control the system. Therefore, with the system, they still control the mindset of the people. That's what makes the sheep or the minorities, because it's a mindset, not according to a population, but they control the system, so they control the mindset of the people.
We got one more verse.
The dragon. The spirit. Through those spirits, you can control the masses of the people.
All right, and what do they use? They use the money. All right, the money system, because everybody wants money. The military, everybody wants to go to live in a land where they feel like they're protected. All right, and the religious system, any form of spirituality. You can worship however you want to worship here in America. All right, so they say, but let's say that you're a Hebrew Israelite, they try to demonize you and say that you're a domestic terrorist. See how they try to play both sides and try to confuse and manipulate the minds of the people.
Right. Yep. And we knew that was the next thing coming. Years ago, they said the next thing was going to be what? Russia, UFOs, domestic terrorism, plagues, then destruction.
And listen, if you look at the pattern of the First World War and the Second World War, what did you have? Sickness, economy collapse, then war. World War I. Same thing. World War II, it was the same thing. It happens the same. The three trends happen every single time there's a major conflict in war.
One trick pony.
Done.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 31, verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord.
Right, they're going to basically join that Tower of Babel.
Mm-hmm. And what's that going to do? That's going to confound them. They're going to go to Babel. They're going to go run into the Tower of Babel for help, and they're going to be even more confused. But those that are secure in the Tower of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, they're going to know all things. But they're going to be trapped in the Tower of Babel, trapped in that confusion all the way to the end, man. They're going to stay in that state of derision. Thus saith Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai.
That false state of safety from the first flood, from the first death. Now they're looking for safety from the second death.
Ooh, just like what Nimrod said, come, let us build a tower to avenge our ancestors that were destroyed in the flood, and then the flood would not overtake us again. Right? So boom, that's the same thing the elder's saying. Now they're trying to avoid the second death, which is coming, ultimately from the missiles and from the when Yahweh Shai comes in with the holy angels, man.
You know what I'm saying? The Edomites doing the same thing that all the other heathens ever done. You know, they're following after the same examples of those kingdoms that ever stood a face upon the earth that live contrary against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's word and were destroyed. You know, the same thing is going to happen to this place called America, which means bitter. All right. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 11, verse 5. The righteous of the perfect shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness. There you go. They're going to keep doing wickedness, and they're going to destroy themselves. We're going to say bye-bye to them.
All right. So that shows you at the end of the day, man, we're going to stand in our parim. What the word parim means, your light, man. You're going to stand in your light. What they say in the world, you know, stay in your lane. So you're going to stay in your lane until the ends of times, man. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai preordained each man's path. You know, all you have to do is do the best you could according to his will. If you are the elect, man. You know, and all the ones that's not of the elect, they're just walking right down their path, man, their lane. That was given unto them. Fine. Just like the brother just said, man. That's why the scriptures say, let the multitude perish that was born in vain, man. But Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to keep his grape of the cluster, man. Keep his vine. There's noble.
Right. And back to the point where I said, I don't know for sure if that's what he said in order to build that tower about avenging his ancestors from the flood. But ultimately, he was trying to keep everybody on one mindset to uplift himself, all right, as to being the idol, which did happen. So he was creating a one world order at that time. That ultimately that was the interim goal. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai seen that and confounded. Just like how he's going to do in these days. You got to be careful of what you say on these cameras, because people try to flip the words and use them against you.
Where are we at, man?
Precept. Brother right here got a precept.
All right,
Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof.
And no plagues going to represent this place being confounded. All right, so now, but that's why he said, flee out of the midst of Babylon, free every man his soul. Meaning get your mind mentally out of this place, because if your mind wrapped up in this place, you're going to be confounded also. So, yeah, right. So our minds are in the tower, the strong tower of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So we won't be confounded. We'll see the rest of these other people getting confounded. Why? Because they got their minds still wrapped up in Egypt, still going on forever.
Right, man, we're gonna wrap this up too soon, though. But yeah, the focus what? The Tower of Babel, man. Right? They're rebuilding it again. Their damn tower. What's the Lord's name of the strong tower? So they're building their tower, and we got our tower. They got their tower. You know that 2/3 gonna run to. We got our tower.
It's Proverbs chapter 18, verse 10.
Right, their tower is confusion.
The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous runneth into it and is safe.
Yo, man, you want safety from the first death or the second death, you better run to the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Verse 11, the rich man's wealth is in his strong city, and as an high wall in his own conceit.
There you go, just like Nimrod. His wealth and his conceit and his what? The spirit that was lifted up on him was not upright, just like Esau. All right, because his riches and his wealth. All right, and his power, because he was a mighty hunter. What was Esau entitled as? A mighty hunter. Same thing, man. All right, no new thing under the sun. All right, but I still believe Obama It's Nimrod. That's just me. But go ahead, bro.
All right, the book of Zephaniah. The book of Zephaniah, chapter 1, verse 16. It says a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers, and I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord.
That's that confounding the language.
But that is
today he's gonna confound their hearts.
Zephaniah 1 is 17.
Right. Today he's gonna confound their imagination, man. And they're gonna walk like blind men. That's what the state of confusion. All right.
Because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall become shalaki, and their blood shall be poured out as dust.
Right, their blood is gonna be poured out as dust. You know that? That's a judgment from the Most High that's coming to this place. The Lord planned on pouring your blood out like dust, like He did with us in slavery. And they don't care. You know, Esau proud.
You know, going back to Psalms 49, they don't think they can't be touched,
right? They think they're the goat.
Technically,
they really are. They really are the goat.
The G, the A, the O, the T.
Yeah, man.
Oh. It says, in their flesh as the dogs. It says what? It says, verse 18, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath.
So that's what? That's what lifted them up. And that's what gave them that pride and that power. And that's what's going to be their destruction. And it ain't going to be able to save them in the day of the Lord's wrath, man. Right? So Esau is a reflection of what Nimrod went through. And them Nimrodians that followed him.
Real quick about the shot, I know what they riches gonna be for them, though. It's gonna be a witness against them. You know what I'm saying? That's what the riches that they obtain throughout, you know, generation to generation is gonna be a witness, the whole to that mighty day of judgment against them. Yahweh Ba'ashir Yahushua come in and judge the nation. He slammed that gavel. It's gonna be a witness against them, their riches, nation of evil.
What they say, your mouth wrote a check that your ass can't cash. So when the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, when the Lord Yahushua makes his return, oh, your favorite slogan, hey, whatever you make in a year, I'll double it. That's not gonna suffice, man. Shit, hey, your actions and other things like that is gonna once be able to get you out of here. Knowledge and wisdom to be the stability all the time. You don't have that spirit of the Lord dwelling within you. So, hey, shit, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua can wipe you off, man.
Right? Just when I say to all the brothers and sisters, man, stay in the spirit of the Passover, man. You should always feel it around you, man. Every day feel like the Passover. You'll feel the Lord's spirit. I was telling the brother earlier, when we out here in camp, it felt like back in the day when we was little, and you would play some sports outside, and you go back in the house, drink some Kool-Aid. You know that feeling? Just, you know, the feeling. Sunset.
Peace.
Yeah. You know, good time. That's the only feeling, that's the only way we get that feeling nowadays. Or maybe with the children, you might get a glimpse or a deja vu moment. But out here, this is it. This is the only place you'll feel it. You'll relive that in this world today. Being out here teaching.
And then like when the Peter and the apostles were like, hey, you coming to restore the kingdom right now, Lord? And he was like, no. But basically understand the kingdom is within you. So we're already in the kingdom. I was telling my woman last night, man, we're already in the kingdom. Because guess what? I might be hell when I walk out and go into the matrix, but when I'm with my brothers, I'm in the kingdom. All right, when I'm at home, because that spirit of the kingdom is there. And it was given to us before he comes, so we can already be in that state of mind when he shows up.
That's right. He said the word was going to be an ornament. We got the chains, we got the ornaments to our neck, we got the wisdom, we got the crown of wisdom, you know, we got the feast like a king with feast. Yeah. You know, we got thrones. You know, spiritual thrones, the mind.
Just like the elder said, like think of it as the Passover. Think about it. Before Elijah came, before Abba Business came, we weren't celebrating the Passover. All right, so now that's a token because we could still be in that state of mind. But the Lord delivered us from that, man. Ultimately preparing our minds for the kingdom. And when he shows up, then we're gonna say, hey, come ye inherit the kingdom that my father has prepared for you, man.
Right, man. Precept, let's bring it on. Let me wrap it up.
Psalm 59 and 5. Now therefore, O Lord, Yahweh Chai of hosts, the God of Israel, awake to visit all the hidden. Be not merciful to any wicked transgressor. Selah.
Connie, how about Yahweh when he shows up, man? He let us know that when he comes back, he's not coming back for peace. He's coming back with a sword, man. Yeah, that was a prayer from David. He was saying, don't have no mercy against the wicked. You know, and he also said that it's a righteous thing to pay back, you know what I'm saying, tribulation to those that troubled you. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to pay them back 100-fold, man. And he already let us know that within these scriptures. You know, and he let us know that to doubt is sin, man. He didn't give us the spirit of doubt. He gave us the spirit of faith, man. You know, and hope.
God. Please look. Let's bring him out. Y'all gotta bring it though. Come on, let's
Matthew 10 and 34. Think not that I came to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
Right. That's how they're gonna be confounded. Hey, that's a beautiful precept. They said what? They think the Lord coming to send peace and love, peace and hair grease.
That's a big flower he got in his hand. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's actually a plasma 2 ray gun that he has.
Yeah, man. So the Lord chose fire to be the tool for his judgment, man. You know? So he said, that's going to be the confounding. A lot of people are going to be confounded real soon when the Lord shows up. He's a black man from the tribe of Judah. 10 foot tall, white and woolly head. Coming to destroy the wicked, man. 2/3 of our people. Right, go ahead.
The book of Zephaniah 1 and 3. It says, seek ye the Lord, all ye meat of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger.
Right, man, maybe. That's why he said hopeful elect. Because maybe you'll be hid in the day of the Lord's judgment, man. To be hid from the what? Is to be exempt from the judgment. To be hid, as King David prayed, to be hid from the enemy. You know? So we pray to be hid in that day, man. There was another point on that. Can you read that again? About the first part?
It says, seek ye the Lord, all ye meat of the earth.
Right. Yeah, right. Because why? Because the meek of the earth, we're desiring a new kingdom where indwelleth righteousness. A new heaven and a new earth. Where indwelleth righteousness. We're not looking for no damn Tower of Babel.
And also the Lord said he's close to the ones of a broken spirit and a contrite heart.
Right. We don't need nobody to manipulate our body makeup.
Don't do it.
You know, our DO nuclei acids. You know? We don't need nobody to manipulate that to make us better.
Run that through y'all.
Yeah, run that through.
Hey, because
Right,
the Lord, like you, the Lord Yahweh Shai gonna do our change for us, man.
Right,
you know, the natural way, if you will, spiritual way.
What is the word?
Organic.
Yeah, because what is the word? I still can't say it, but what does the word DO mean? To go back to God. What does nuclei mean? The center. What does the acid mean? Meaning it was transferred from a nuclei, like spirit or energy, into an acid. So the acid that go through your body, or that electrons, or the spirit that goes through your body is really God at the center of your being. But like I was trying to teach years ago, the nucleus. You know what I'm saying? The core, what they call it, the God gene.
God.
So that's what they're trying to corrupt. And we don't need no manipulation of that or amendments. Meaning correcting or fixing. No, man. Well, our Tower of Babel is Yahweh Shai. That's our safety. From the coming destruction that we see.
And this one corrects and fixes us.
Yeah, you too, man. All right, guys. Right, that was it. All right, no doubt, man. We're gonna wrap it up, man. All right. So I hope y'all was edified and encouraged, because that's all we aim to do. You know what I'm saying? But with that, we're gonna close it out. And that's the focus of this lesson was the Tower of Babel, and that there's no new thing under the sun. So there's nothing to fear back then. All we have to do is wait for what? Divine intervention. That's what the focus of this lesson is. Have faith in divine intervention from Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, all right? He sent his holy angel to intervene. You know, so they're gonna give his angels charge over you. They're gonna keep you in all your ways. All right, he's gonna destroy this wicked kingdom from out the earth. So with that, we're gonna say, Kal, Alayim, La, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Ha, Kodash, Ma. All right, double line to the elder apostles of GMS, as always, and shalom to your Akim and our brothers and children that still believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth, and that support us, man. You know, that support our page with just your likes and your comments and your views. They matter to us. You know what I'm saying? So with that, man, we're gonna say shalom. Shalom.